Okay, welcome to our Team Southern Strong Call. It is September 27th at 8 o'clock, and welcome. I'm so excited for you to be on here so we can talk a little bit about time management. Time management is something that I've kind of sort of struggled with a little bit with my coaching business, and when I was trained about it in Destin 2 weekends ago, I just was so excited and so many light bulb moments, and can't wait to share with you everything that I learned. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go to my screen share so you can see what I see. And let me get this. There we go, slideshow from beginning. Okay. So we are going to start having our Team Southern Strong calls every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. When I first started our team and started growing, and I guess it was the beginning of the year, my biggest fear was that I hated taking from people. I didn't want to take your time or take you away from something else. And that may be, the blue personality in me or whatever reason, but I didn't want to take. I didn't want to be that person to just ask something of you. Excuse the restroom in the background. But that was my thought process. So we decided we were going to have team calls once a month. Well, what happened is that I really think that I did a disservice to all of you. And instead of, working smarter and having these effective team calls, we just really kind of took the value off of all the calls that are available to us. And we never really had a place to come together as a team to touch base once a week. Yes, we have our team page, and yes, we work very closely together, but as far as getting on to a call face-to-face, we don't have that. I know that we have different options of getting on calls, but I'm going to be honest, guys, when I get on, I don't see very many of our faces. And I know it's not because you don't have time, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. It's because it's my fault. I didn't put the value on those calls. So what I'm going to ask of you is for you to make our Tuesday night calls a priority. Every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, add it to your calendar and really have a CEO mindset about it. I know for me, when I became a coach, I thought of these calls as business meetings that I needed to be on once a week. At the time, I was getting on the Tuesday night, the Monday night Legacy United calls, and then when Team Shiny United got a little bit bigger, now I get on the Sunday night Team Shiny United calls every week without fail. No excuses, no anything. These are business meetings that I need once a week with my team because I am the CEO of my business. I would never, ever tell my principal, I'm sorry, I can't be on the call or I can't come to this meeting at school for XYZ reason. And I'm not saying that I'm saying this as your mentor because you are the CEO of your business, and I promise you, being on these calls live, or at least one call each week live, is going to move your business forward. For me, what these calls do is it gets me in this frame of mind that I'm ready for the week. I can go forward. I get a little tip that I can implement, and it's just made my business stronger. So we're going to start having our Team Southern Strong calls on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Next week on October 4th, my birthday, we are going to have our very first guest speaker. Her name is Gina Kraki. And if you have not heard her, she has an incredible story. She has been a coach for I guess it's been almost 2 years now, and she's going to talk to us about failing forward. I'm so excited for all of you to get to hear from her. She is such an inspiration. She is such a light, such a positive person, and I'm excited for the value that she's going to share. So go ahead and mark that on your calendar now, October 4th at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Okay, so one of the things that they talked about in Destin, and all of this is going to be leading up to the time management part of it, is working our business, with a CEO versus an employee mindset. This was Kim Carver. He came in the very first day, and like we had literally just kind of rolled up into Destin, and here he comes from corporate and sat down with us and basically asked us, how do you approach your business? Do you approach your business with a CEO mindset, or do you approach it with an employee mindset? Do you feel like you have to come and do your vital behaviors because your upline coach is telling you to? Or are you showing up every day and doing your vital behaviors or whatever else that you have on your to-do list because your why and your goals are so strong that you want to make those happen? I know for me, I'm just going to share my take on it. I don't always do that. Really, it's been a mind shifting thing for me. I have in the past, mostly when I first started coaching, but I had the thought process of that Jen was my boss, and if Jen told me to do it, I needed to do it. And I did, but I didn't get the same satisfaction out of it that I do now, where I can okay, sorry, I was just making sure that we were recording. That I do now when now that I have a CEO mindset. I get up every single day because I know that I want my family to be financially free. I make this business a priority for my family, and I have set aside the time, and I have made it a non-negotiable that every single month, at the very least, I'm going to hit Success Club 5. No questions asked. I'm going to do it as quickly as possible. And then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to try to recruit working coaches onto our team, because the more coaches that we have, the stronger of a team that we have. And that benefits not just me, but all of the coaches on our team. And because I have that CEO mindset, I want to work together and benefit the team as a whole. I found these 3 quotes, and I really am kind of driven by quotes. And the first one says, if you want to be more productive, you need to become the master of your minutes. Stop letting the day control you. I have had the mindset where I wake up in the morning and I go through my day, and before I know it, my day is over and I don't feel like I've accomplished anything. We need to change our mindset to where we are the CEO of our business, and we're going to choose what we're going to do in our day. And we're not going to let whatever life throws at us to get in the way of us taking those steps that we need to get to our goals. Whatever our ultimate goal may be, we're going to take those steps to get there. The second quote says, save the excuses. It's not about having time. It's about making time. If it matters, you will make time. And we're going to talk about how to do that in a second. And then the third quote says, every day is a bank account and time is our currency. No one is rich. No one is poor. We've each got 24 hours in the day. And that's by Christopher Rice. And I know that I read that a little wrong. But no matter who you are, we have the same 24 hours in a day. We may have different responsibilities, but it's up to us to choose how we are going to apply the time that we are given. No matter who we are, what we have, where we are, what our job is, what our family looks like, we have the same 24 hours. And we just have to decide what we're going to do with it. So we met with Jeremy Redd, who is again from CEO, and he talked his whole entire, it was like an hour and a half presentation was on time management. And what he did is he sat us down and he said, I want you to take a piece of paper and I want you to break it up into 5 different categories. In those, or 5 different sections, columns. And each of those columns, I want you to take a bucket. And in that bucket, I want you to give it a name. I want you to give it a color. I want you to give you a weekly time allotment. I want you to pick the top 3 to 5 activities for each bucket. And then I want you to write down any possible temptations that you that might come up during the week that could prohibit you from accomplishing those 3 to 5 things that you need to do. I sat down and I really had to evaluate what I was going to do for my buckets. What were my top 5 things? Well, of course, I knew that I needed my family. I knew I needed to have time for my job. I needed to have time for me. And then I needed my Beachbody and my Beachbody business and then my team's business. So I'm going to show you, this is a little bit about what my chart looked like. I put my me time first because it's kind of like that oxygen mask theory. If I don't take care of me, how am I going to be able to take care of the rest of my family? So I allotted myself 7 hours for that. That includes sleep. So when you see the 7 hours, don't think I'm like sitting doing nothing for 7 hours. That doesn't have to do with my family. 6 of those 7 hours are sleep. I have my personal development in there, my workout, and then just every day I like to take a few minutes and just have a mental break from all the requirements of the day. My next bucket is my family bucket. I dedicate 6 hours to that. For me, the 5 things that are most important are eating dinner at a table every single night. No matter what we're eating, we sit down at the table and we eat together. That gives us time to talk about our day, to build those relationships, and it's just a good, solid 30 minutes of family time.
Like you.
If you don't mind muting yourself, I'm getting a little playback from, thank you. We also have our playtime that I set aside. We have, date nights when me and Michael can do that. We have bedtime and we have housekeeping. Then for my work, I'm there 8 hours no matter what. I had to set that aside. And then for my Beachbody business, I put more time into my business than I do with my team business because that's what's going to keep my business going. Every day I spend about 2 hours on my business. That's getting my power hour done first and foremost, crossing off those 3 or 4 vital behaviors out of the way, getting those done. Then it's running my challenge groups, I do this right after I do my workout. I post in my challenge groups. I check in with my challengers. And then Sunday nights, I do my personal check-ins. I fit in the free groups and work on the free groups when I can. This is not something that I'm constantly working on. It's usually toward the middle of the month. Every day I recruit a little bit. I send at least one recruitment message out. And then I do have put us in this bucket the first 30 days of new coaches. I pass the first 30 days. They're kind of, by that time they're have been through Coach Basics and are ready to kind of go out on their own. And that's when I move them over into my last bucket, which is my team bucket. And for that, I dedicate 1 hour a day. That's team calls, which, as you know, now we're going to have on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. My success pods, which are ongoing. I just answer those messages when I can, and then our one-on-one calls. And I don't know if you saw on the team page last week, but we're going to start scheduling one-on-one calls with that. I can't think of the website, but I posted a link. So if you would like a one-on-one call, go ahead and sign up for those. That's going to be ongoing for us as a team. So, other than that, I will answer text messages and emails and Facebook messages. But to get on the call, please set up a one-on-one call. That way, I'm fair to you and your family, and you're fair to me and my family. So what is the most important things when we're setting these aside? Well, let me go back to this. For my planner, what I have done this week is I have taken this and then I have been highlighting them with the different colors. That gives me just that visual. Now, your buckets do not have to be the same as mine. Maybe you have your family first, or maybe you have your 8 to 5 job first. Or, like me, maybe you put your me time first. I liked this setup. This is kind of what Jeremy Red had. And it really, when he sat down and he explained it about why he had it, it just made sense to me. They went around the room and other people kind of explained what they put, and somebody put in their first bucket their faith, where they got up in the morning and the very first thing that they did was read their Bible, and they had commitments at church that they put in there. Your first bucket could be a hobby that you want to do. I guess that would kind of go under me time too. But I want you to make these buckets to whatever is important to you. And then as you're scheduling your day, you know what your allotment of time is. Get done those 3 to 5 things that are most important and move forward and feel accomplished. Don't focus on the things that you didn't get done. Focus on the things that are good that you that you did. I mean, anything that you cross off a list is an accomplishment and a step forward, and you should be very proud of it. Okay, so a power hour. These have been posted on our team page, but just a little reminder, these are the things that I focus on every single day. I add 2 new friends to Facebook. That takes less than 5 minutes. I create a list from my previous day post, so I go back and look at my post, and if somebody new popped up, I'll start a new conversation, which is number 3. And then, sorry, let me check this because I'm doing the sneak peek too. Okay. Sorry, multiple hats. Okay, just a few more minutes, then we're going to take a little bit of break so I can go talk into that. Y'all can listen to that too. And then I invite 2 new people. So the conversations that I've started from the new conversations, then I will invite them to a challenge group. I'll spend about 10 minutes on that. Then I'll do follow-ups, post in the challenge group and team page, and then create posts for later use or plain hooks if I have time. Really, number 7, I don't always do that. This is not a consecutive hour for me. This is when I can fit it in. In the morning, I do, like I said earlier, I posted in my challenge groups, I get my workout done, I add my people. Then after school is when I start my new conversations, send my invites and my follow-ups. And then later in the day, I post in the challenge group a second time. But these are the things that I make a priority as far as my blue bucket over here, my Beachbody business. If I don't get anything else done in the day, as long as I get these things done, I feel like I have gotten accomplished. These are my priorities. These are the things that are going to get me to Success Club. These are the things that are going to get me the people to help and that are going to move my business forward. And then some tips on here is to set a timer on your phone and get to it. Stay out of the Facebook feed, which is really hard, I know, and then write everything down. Have a tracker. You can Google those. I have posted them in the team page as well. And it really just helps you keep everything together in a binder. So you're not just going off your memory or your Facebook Messenger. That's something that I really heavily depended on as a new coach, or really up until lately, I didn't write anything down. I was like, it's no problem. I can just pull it up. I can just look at it on my own. It's not a big deal. But now, as I've had more conversations, like, okay, did I talk to them? Did I follow up with them? Who was the last person that I talked to? Oh, I need to follow up with that person. Okay. So my tips for when you have your allotted time, especially for your Beachbody business, set a timer. One of the apps they talked about is DAC 30-30, where you can download that on your phone, and whatever you get done in that 30 minutes is what you get done. Whatever you don't get done in that 30 minutes, set it aside and take it back for tomorrow. My tip is to set a kitchen timer. I work at my desk in my living room, but if I set the timer over in the kitchen, I have to get up and stop what I'm doing. I can't just press pause or hit snooze and keep working. And then I get overwhelmed and I'm, stressed out and trying to get everything done. But it really helps me to race the clock. This is a tip that Melanie said last weekend, to get as much done as you can in that 30 minutes. And she said, even me, I will race the clock and see how much I can get done in the 30 minutes, and then I move on. So that's a good way of, just making that so you can make that time a priority, and it's not going to be overwhelming, and you're not having too many things on your list. Just have that 30 minutes, get done what you can, and then go on to other things. Control the controllable. This goes back to just being proud of what you've accomplished. When you can't control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way you respond to what's happening. That's where your power is. We talked a lot about this at the retreat 2 weekends ago. He went around the room and asked people what their struggles were, and the majority of the struggles that they said had nothing to do with anything that they could control. So he said, focus on you. You can control when you can get on the calls. You can control if you hit Success Club. You can control the number of conversations that you have. Things that you can't control. You can't control if someone goes through with the link and orders that challenge pack. You can't control if you talk to someone who says they're interested in coaching and then all of a sudden they quit responding to your messages. You can't control that. So don't take time and dwell on it. Just move forward and go on to that next person. Control the controllable, and it will help you with your sanity. And I promise you, in the 2 weeks that I've been home, controlling the controllable has completely opened up my mind and just made me a much happier person. I'm not stressed out about things that I have literally no control over. These are just some tips of, time management tips to work smarter, not harder. Complete the most important tasks first. That's our 4 vital behaviors: getting your personal development done, being a product of the product, inviting every single day, and recognition. Cross those off your list for your Beachbody business, and you've accomplished something. Learn to say no. For me, this is something I've had to start implementing. Like last week, I had a book club meeting, and I had to tell them, I'm going to come, but I have to leave because I have a team call at 8 o'clock. I cannot stay the whole time. This is a business commitment to me. And that's what I did. No one was upset. I just had to gracefully leave, and I made it in time for my call. I made my business a priority. I treated my business like a business. Sleep 7 to 8 hours, easier said than done, because I usually run off of 5. Devote your entire focus to the task at hand. For me, when I work now, I have to put my phone away. And that way I'm not getting buzzes, and I'm not getting dings, and I'm not getting distracted. I am able to go forward and do what I need to do for the day. Turn key tasks into habits. Okay, and I think it's my turn. So y'all can just listen, but I'm gonna get on real quick, and we're gonna do our Coach Basics real quick. Okay, so 1 second, sorry, we're double booked for tonight, but that's just part of the time management, squeezing it in where I can. Okay. Oop. It's connecting. Okay, so while that's deciding to do whatever it's going to do, I will keep going, and okay. Leave a buffer time between tasks. I don't really recommend this. I say, do the 30 minutes, and then whatever you have to do is next. And my internet isn't connecting. Sorry, guys. Do something during wait time. I did this last week. I had a doctor's appointment, so I got my entire power hour done in the waiting room of my doctor's appointment. I left feeling accomplished, and I was ready to go further. And I had the whole night to go to spend with my family. It was a Friday, and I didn't have to put the boys to bed and spend my evening doing my power hour. I got it done while I was waiting for my doctor. Lock yourself in. That's, kind of putting your phone away. Commit to your plan to do something. Find time for stillness. Eliminate the non-essentials. And then a bonus. Enjoyment should always be the goal. Work when you can. Don't get so caught up in the busyness that we forget to enjoy what we're doing. Fall in love with the process, and the results will come. I had to teach myself to fall in love with inviting, because it used to give me stomach aches and I just hated it. But now it's part of my favorite. I enjoy sharing my excitement and inviting people to this gift that we have as coaching. And then the last thing I wanted to leave you with is bedtime affirmations for the soul. Every night, I want you to just go to bed and think about how you have won the day. Have I done my best for today? Have I earned my rest for tonight? I have put my love into all my deeds. I have used kindness in all my thoughts. I close this day with pure joy and now drift into sound sleep. One of the tips that they gave at the retreat was to end the day and think of 5 things that we did right. And they said, when you end on a positive note is it's going to change your energy. Your day is going to be filled with that positive energy, instead of going to sleep and stressing out, I didn't get this done, and I did this wrong, and I said this wrong, and I didn't answer this question right, and I could have done 5 more things and I should have stayed up later and I didn't accomplish this. Instead of having those negative thoughts and the stress, instead ending our day with the positive things, and it's just going to make our energy a whole lot better. So that is the end of my presentation on time management. Hopefully, stop my share. Hopefully you got some tips to help squeeze everything in and find the time for your business, and to kind of get tips to switch that mind shift instead of having the employee mindset versus the CEO mindset that we talked about earlier. So I'm going to wrap up. We're going to close our recording, and thank you for your time. Thank you for getting on live, and I appreciate you. I'm so glad that each and every one of you are on our team, and I can't wait to hear your feedback and how you're implementing the tips that we've presented tonight. Okay, have a great night.